The music Lisa just played was in honor of Veterans Day. It was The Phantom Regiment by Leroy Anderson. So if you really liked it, check that out. So things you should know this week. We have one blooper on your bulletin. The Death and Grief Support Group is first and third Wednesday, so not this week. Ellen Higdon is starting up Mahjong and Brush Up Bridge again. So there are 2 sign-up sheets on the lanai to show you're interested, and more will follow. Reminder, as always, to check the back of your bulletin to see what's going on. And please silence your phones as we get ready to start the service. November 16th, we're going to have a Pathways to Membership class right after the service over in Waters Hall. If you're interested in joining, come on over on the 16th. Annie, can you raise your hand? That's Annie over there. If you have questions, please ask her. Glad to see you guys back. Today's offering is for Good Samaritan Pharmacy and Health Services, one of our beloved community partners, and we are also doing our food collection. Please talk to Janet Knutson if you would like to make a cash donation to the food drive and you're not sure how. Our birthday celebration will take place today after the service. And I think that's all I got.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Venice, which we lovingly call UCOV. Whether you've been here 100 times or if you're joining us for the very first time, we're glad you're here today. Our service this morning is called Red, White, and Blue. It's a day to pause and honor the people who have served our country, those who were willing to sign their names to a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including their life. We remember that kind of service doesn't belong only to soldiers or sailors or airmen, but to all who choose to give themselves to something larger than their own comfort, to a cause, to a calling, to the work of making the world a little more whole. As we gather in this space, may we open our hearts to gratitude, to courage, and to the questions that keep us growing. What does it mean to serve? What does it mean to belong to something greater than ourselves? And how might we, each in our own way, offer our lives toward the common good? Welcome, friends, to this morning of reflection, remembrance, and renewal. In honor of those who have served and those who continue to serve, at home and abroad, for peace and in war, we light our chalice and we offer our thanks.
Well, that's a great way to get started. Good morning, and I am so glad to see you all here today. It's lovely to see some of you that have just come back and some new faces. Today we gather in gratitude and in humility. America is America, in part, because the service of Americans and soon-to-be Americans since 1776. Who we are today is shaped and defended and handed forward by those who served, some of whom came home and some who did not. When we honor veterans, we're not glorifying war or violence. We're not accepting colonization. We are recognizing their service. We acknowledge the guts it takes to say, I will give myself over to something bigger than me. I'm not only willing to serve my fellow human beings, but to lay down my life, if I need to, for them. That's a big ask. And that kind of courage doesn't just live in uniforms, it lives in every person who chooses to serve others, to protect what is good, to repair what is broken, and to build peace in a troubled world. So this morning, as we think about that kind of service, may we remember that these colors, this red, white, and blue, are more than symbols on a flag. They're a reminder of the blood and the light and the hope that bind us together. May our time today strengthen our resolve to serve with compassion, to act with integrity, to live as citizens not of one nation, but of one shared humanity. Come and let us worship here together. Now, our gathering hymn is a spiritual, and it was sung by African American enslaved people. It was typically sung with great joy. So I hope we can imbue it this morning with some of that spirit and some of that joy. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 156, O Freedom. This is a time in our service when we do our offering, and I like to do it with a joke because giving should not be painful. A man known far and wide for his cheapness was invited to a friend's UU church for a Thanksgiving service. And his friend dragged him up to sit in the front row, and when it was time for the offering, they passed the basket, and despite the pastor's request for a good offering, the man hurriedly pulled just one single dollar bill out, stuck it in the basket, and quickly passed it by. Just then, the person behind him tapped him on the shoulder and handed him two $100 bills. Before the man could say anything, the cheap man smiled and then turned and with a grand gesture said, "Hey, hold on, give me the basket, you missed mine," and tossed the 200 notes in. He turned back around and flashed a grin at the guy behind him and said, "Thanks there, buddy." The man said, "Don't mention it, but be more careful the next time I was trying to tell you they fell out of your pocket." Now, I don't really care whose pocket it comes out of. We'll take it any way it gets here. So the morning offering will now be given and gratefully received. I don't think I can ever say it enough, but thank you. Thank you for everything that you do for the life and the work of this community. It's important because it's as a community of human hands and human hearts that we come together here as we struggle with life's sorrows and celebrate life's joys. So if you have something to share, please raise a hand, and I don't know where our folks are today, Jean and John, someone will bring you a microphone. If you're new here, please feel free to raise a hand and briefly introduce yourself.
Good morning, I'm Donna Jewett, and I'm a member of the Green Team here, and I want to thank all of those people who came out and helped us. And if you look out the window out here, you'll see we have a pollinating garden, and it's beginning to bloom again. There's a lot of bees, there's a lot of butterflies, and this was planted a long time ago with a group. We also have an edible garden down by Amy's place, down in the backyard. We have a wonderful compost, by the way, which we ask everyone to contribute to. But in that, our edible garden, I harvest the first 2 papayas. We will be getting a whole tree of star fruit. We've got chaya down there. We even have a banana tree, and we have something called cranberry hibiscus. So we have things that you could learn about growing in your own backyards, and herbs and things like that. So I encourage you to join us for the Green Team, and the more hands, the merrier, and it's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Okay. My name is Sylvia Hancock, and I'm very glad to be back here with all of you. I've been out in Washington State and have just returned to Florida. And I especially want to remember my husband today. He was a Naval Academy graduate, and he died because of his exposure to asbestos during his service. And that was very tough loss for me, well, for both of us. And I just wanted to especially remember him today. His name was Bill Hancock.
Yes, if this is celebrations as well as sorrows, my name is John Van Camp, and I'd like to celebrate leadership when I see it. Leadership about a vision that is commensurate with the values of UU. And yesterday, Anna Trialos. Is Anna here? There she is, way in the back. Stand up. Anna was one of the principals in leading 60 of us to go to, we're not going to say the AA word, because that's what Trump wants to call it. It's Big Cypress Detention Center. 60 of us went there in protest and in prayer, and Anna was one of the organizers of that. I celebrate your leadership.
Amen to that.
I just want to make a little bit of an announcement. This is RMD season. I'm sure all of us, most of us are facing RMDs from our IRAs. And you can make a donation, your donations from your IRAs, and they offset your RMDs. Now, this is only important to the end of the year because you want to adjust your RMD that you make to account for your whatever donation you intend to make. You have actually until April 15th to make the donation, but you need to adjust your RMDs have to be made by the end of the year. So I just thought that would be a useful. I've overlooked that for years, and I just wanted to share that so that for practical purposes.
Thank you, that's good. For those of you who don't know, if I may, required minimum distribution of some of your money, if you're over 72, I think. Hi, I'm Jean B., and it's birthday Sunday. Last week, the first Sunday of the month was actually birthday Sunday, but I had a jammy day, so I was gone. But I'm here with you today and celebrating our November birthdays. And as you can see, we have quite a few. Anna, we're not giving last names just for privacy reasons, but you see yourself, come on, stand up if you'd like. Sally, I know they're both here. Becky, Barbara, you're here today. Marianne, Marion, Wendy, Dave, and Nancy, and Kathleen. If there are any that I missed, you can write them in. This will be out front by the birthday cake table. And for that, we want to say a little bit of something to everybody. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday, dear everyone. Happy birthday to you.
I just wanted to straighten this out a little bit. It's called a qualified charitable distribution. Fidelity, Vanguard, anyone that you have your RMD with can explain it to you how it's done and how it benefits you and how it benefits the charities.
Thank you. I've got a quick joy. We had a wonderful art journaling class this past week. There were 10 of us there. We had a great time, or at least I think we did. And we'll be meeting with that class one more time. But then once we're done, we're talking about making this something ongoing. So if you're interested, hang in there. More information will follow. May the love of this community hold everyone who needs love and concern, and may the light of our community shine on the broken places of the world. May those who are grieving be comforted, and those who are tired find rest. May the broken places be healed, and may those who are filled with joy and laughter be abundant.
Thank you, Jan and McGuire. That was fabulous. Our first reading is from In Praise of Veterans by Charles W. Van Way III. Some years ago, I began to realize that many people simply wish they had served. After Vietnam, nobody was drafted. A fair number of people began to realize that their fathers and grandfathers had served, and their older colleagues, but they hadn't. Perhaps some of them felt guilty about that. But I think the majority simply felt that they had failed to have a significant experience in their lives. And they were correct, because military service, even in a time of relative peace, changes a person. The essence of military service is this: you turn your life over to your country for a period of time. Literally, because your country may send you someplace where you might die. It does make you think about priorities. You realize that your own personal life is at risk. We value things in direct proportion to how much we have paid for them. Making a commitment to your country that may cost your life is a very high price. You think a lot before you pay it. Once you have done it, it alters your value system, how you see yourself. It affects how others see you as well. We come back around to Veterans Day. Originally, Armistice Day marked the end of World War I. Now we remember all veterans, most especially commemorating those who died in our wars. It's a solemn holiday, as it should be. This is a difficult time in our nation's history. After a very divisive election, we remain at odds with one another. Economic times are hard for many of us. Yet our nation will endure. Veterans Day is a good time to reflect on just why it has and why it will continue to do so, despite our adversities and our current challenges.
And I was reminded by my choir that we should let you know that this song is in Swahili. That's why we're dressed in such bright colors to get in the mood. And I'm sorry, what else did you want to say? It's a war song? Work song. Well, I learned something new. It's a work song. Okay, great.
Let us take a breath together. Let the noise of the world fall away for a moment. Red, the color of courage and love. White, the color of peace, of open hands and open hearts. Blue, the color of depth, of sky and sea, reminding us that we belong to something vast. Today we remember those who have served, and we hold in gentle balance the pride and the sorrow that live side by side in service and in sacrifice. With these words in mind, please join me in 1 minute of silent thought, meditation, or prayer. Our second reading is from The Real Hacksaw Ridge Soldier Saved 75 Souls Without Ever Carrying a Gun by Elizabeth Blair. A quiet, skinny kid from Lynchburg, Virginia, Desmond Doss was a Seventh-day Adventist who wouldn't touch a weapon or work on the Sabbath. He enlisted in the Army as a combat medic because he believed in the cause but had vowed not to kill. The Army made Doss's life hell during training. It started out as harassment, and then it became abusive, Terry Benedict says. He interviewed several World War II veterans who were in Doss's battalion. They considered him a pest, questioned his sincerity, and threw shoes at him while he prayed. They just saw him as a slacker, the filmmaker says, someone who shouldn't have been allowed in the Army, and somebody who was their weakest link in the chain. Doss's commanding officer, Captain Jack Glover, tried to get him transferred. In the documentary, Glover says Doss told him, "Don't ever doubt my courage, because I will be right by your side, saving life while you take life." Glover's response, "You're not going to be by my damn side if you don't have a gun." But hard as they tried, the Army could not force Doss to use a weapon. A 1940 law allowed conscientious objectors to serve the war effort in non-combatant positions. So Doss went with his company as a medic to the Pacific Theater. And at Okinawa, in the spring of 1945, Doss's company faced a grueling task: climb a steep, jagged cliff, sometimes called Hacksaw Ridge, to a plateau where thousands of heavily armed Japanese soldiers were waiting for them. The terrain was treacherous. It was full of caves and holes, and the Japanese were dug in underground, says Mel Gibson, who recreated the battle in the movie Hacksaw Ridge. The Japanese called it the Rain of Steel because there was so much iron flying around. Under a barrage of gunfire and explosions, Doss crawled on the ground from wounded soldier to wounded soldier. He dragged severely injured men to the edge of the ridge, tied a rope around their bodies, and lowered them down to other medics below. In Benedict's documentary, Doss says, "I was praying the whole time. I just kept praying, 'Lord, please help me get one more.'" Veteran Carl Bentley, who was also at Hacksaw Ridge, says in the documentary, "It's as if God had had his hand on Doss's shoulder. It's the only explanation I can give." Doss saved 75 men, including his captain, Jack Glover, over a 12-hour period. The same soldiers who had shamed him now praised him. He was one of the bravest persons alive, Glover says in the documentary. And then to have him end up saving my life was the irony of the whole thing. President Harry Truman awarded Doss the Medal of Honor in 1945. He died in 2006. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing number 162, "Gonna Lay Down My Sword and Shield," verses 1 and 3.
Thank you.
If we want to talk about peace, we have to talk about war. We have to talk about the veterans of those wars. We have to talk about what it means to serve. Back in 1973, back when you could still walk almost all the way up to the airplane, I remember standing on the tarmac, Greater Cincinnati Airport, with my mother, waiting for her brother to get home from Vietnam. I was too little to know what Vietnam really was. I remembered the gunshots on the evening news at times when I had gotten out of bed to get for a drink. I remembered the Japanese doll that he sent his mother and the music box he sent me. But I didn't know what Vietnam was. I just remember my mother's shocked voice when he came down the steps of that plane. They had sent over a 5'4", barely 18-year-old boy. They got back a 6'2" man who was so skinny that I ran crying to hide behind my mother because he terrified me. When those boys came back from Vietnam, our country treated them abominably. They were spat on, they were called names. Most of them today, we would call them kids. 18, 19, 20. They're babies. They were just out of high school, sent to a war they had not chosen. Most had been drafted. And they came home carrying the weight of what they'd seen. And the sounds of protest followed them into airports and bus stations. No one threw them a parade. Sometimes people would turn their backs on them. And I admit it, some of the people spitting and turning their backs were Unitarian Universalists. We were very opposed to the war. Some folks were more opposed than others. It was a painful time in our history, a time when anger about this unrighteous, horrible war got turned at those who had been sent to fight it. And a generation of veterans carry not only the scars of battle, but the loneliness of being forgotten or rejected by the very people they had served. We have tried in the decades since to do better. We've learned that honoring veterans is not the same as endorsing war, and that we can oppose violence while still respecting the courage of those who were asked to or who volunteered to serve. We can reject militarism and still recognize the cost of freedom, the reality of sacrifice, and the deep humanity of people who give of themselves for something greater than their own comfort. Today, as we honor veterans, we do it with our hearts open to the complicated truth that not all causes are just, not all wars are just, and war is always tragic, but courage and honor and sacrifice are worthy of gratitude. Technical Sergeant Virgil K.C. Olds once said, "A veteran is a person who wrote a blank check made payable to the USA for an amount up to and including their life." That's a breathtaking thought, to put your name on that kind of check. To say, I will go, even though I don't know what I'll be asked to do. A friend said the closest they could think of was Frodo in The Lord of the Rings saying, I will take the ring, but I don't know the way and I don't know what's going to happen. I said, yeah, but this is real. I will serve, even though the cost to me is unknown. That kind of commitment, that valor, and that vulnerability is breathtaking. But it isn't limited to those in uniform, even though that's who we are honoring today. The colors aren't just red, white, and blue. The colors are yellow and green and purple and glorious profusion because it's also the nurse that comes into the hospital on her day off. It's the young maintenance guy and the young janitor a few years ago that during a hurricane, when everybody fled, took care of a whole nursing home full of people for 3 days before help came. It's the same spirit that moves a teacher to stay late, to pay her own money to decorate a classroom, to help a struggling student sound out words on a page. It's the neighbor that brings you soup or the volunteer who shows up week after week to feed the hungry. Service, in its purest form, is giving without knowing the outcome. It's planting that tree under which you will never sit. It's about trusting that our little acts of courage and compassion matter. The Renaissance writer Michael de Montaigne said once, "Valor is stability, not of legs and arms, but of courage and the soul." It reminds us that it isn't just the bravery of a soldier on a battlefield, it's the steadiness of a spirit that chooses integrity over fear and compassion over indifference. Valor is found anywhere someone holds a frightened child, or in the calm voice that says, "I'll go first." There's a great story circulating around the internet. A little girl wakes up in the afterlife and she finds she's in Valhalla. And she quietly goes up to Odin and these warriors up front and she says, "I'm sorry, I don't belong here." And they look down at this little person who's about 4 feet tall and they say, "Tell us your story." And she says, "Well, I was sick. I got leukemia a year ago, and I'm nobody. Look at me. I was sick. They stuck me with things, and I got blood transfusions a couple times, and I ate a lot of pills, and then I died." And they say to her, "You're in the right place. You're a warrior. You're a warrior, and we will tell your tale along with everyone else's. Because your bravery will be legendary." Valor is the soul's stability when the world trembles. And when I think about joining something greater than ourselves, I think about all the ways our folks serve, all the ways people serve. Each of these ways is a form of belonging to something larger, a way of saying, my life is connected to your life, whether it's protesting the people still out there in the swamp, needing to be released, whether it's fighting for our country, it's a form of belonging to something bigger. What happens to you matters to me. And that's our invitation to ask, what are we willing to give ourselves to? What cause, what community will we bring our love and our courage to? What will we give with no thanks? One of the most moving moments in any Veterans Day service is the simple act of saying thank you. It's not grandeur or spectacle. It's the acknowledgement that we can't give you back what was taken. I say to everyone who served in our military, thank you. Thank you for what you gave up. Thank you for everything you did. Thank you for the weight that you will carry throughout your life. We honor you. What we're really saying to those veterans is, I see you. I see the part of your life that was spent on me. And even if we have complicated feelings about war or politics, gratitude transcends that. It still lets us find the connection. I was grateful years ago to have gotten to visit the Vietnam Memorial in Washington. If you've ever been there, you know that that wall slopes down to the earth, and it's polished so smoothly that you can see your reflection in it. 58,000 names carved in stone. And what struck me wasn't the names, it was the silence. When you go there, you have entered into a cathedral. People whisper, they touch the granite, they trace the names with their fingertips or with pencil and paper. Some bring flowers or photographs or medals. Some bring notes that they wrote by hand. It's a place of reverence for the truth of human cost, for brothers and sisters and siblings in arms who died too soon. The wall is a mirror and a memorial. It shows the faces of the living alongside the names of the dead, and it says, you are connected. Their story is your story. That's what it means to join something greater, that web of mutual responsibility. We are bound together by love and sacrifice and hope. And I say this at a time where individualism is celebrated, sometimes above all else. People in leadership positions look out for number one. There is a feeling in our country that you need to take care of yourselves, to win, to accumulate. But none of us thrive alone. Every good thing in life comes from people who choose connection over isolation. And veterans understand that truth deeply. You don't survive boot camp or deployment or a mission without learning that your life depends on others. And when you come home, the world looks different. You see the little things, the quiet things, the rhythm of life, and you understand their worth in a different way. That too is valor of the soul, to return from hardships and still choose to love this imperfect world. And our task as people of faith is not so different. We're called to be a part of something bigger, to offer our hearts and hands and sacrifice to greater good. And every time we feed the hungry and welcome the stranger, protect the vulnerable, we are living that call. Every time we choose compassion over cynicism, we are serving. When we risk for love or for justice, we are writing our own kind of blank check. I once heard a veteran say, when you're in the field, you don't fight for a flag or a speech, you fight for the guy next to you. You fight for your friends. Our highest callings are always relational. We live and we love for one another. We find meaning not in isolation, but in belonging. To lose ourselves in something greater is to discover who we truly are. And so today we honor veterans, and we honor the spirit of service in all forms. Let us give thanks for those who have risked their lives in war and those who labor every day for peace. Let us remember the courage of those who fought and the resilience of those who healed. And let us hold gratitude and grief in the same hand. Let us ask ourselves how we might serve. And may we live in a way that honors the colors of our lives, the red, the white, and blue, the myriad beautiful colors of the world, not as symbols of division or dominance, but as a reminder of what can bind us together on one big color wheel. Love of neighbor, devotion to community, courage of the soul. Valor is stability, not of legs and arms, but of courage and the soul. May we find that stability inside ourselves and bring it into a world that trembles with need. And may our lives, with all their ordinary beauty, be part of something bigger. A bigger love, a bigger web. And may it be a hymn of gratitude for all who serve. Amen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of gratitude, nor the warmth of community, nor the fire of service that calls us to give of ourselves. May its glow remain with us, and may we carry its light into the world. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our closing hymn this week, number 348, Guide My Feet. Go forth in peace and in purpose. Honor those who have served by the way you live and the kindness you offer and the courage you choose. May the colors of your world be red with love, white with hope, and blue with compassion. Fly brightly wherever you go. Peace, Ashe, and may it be so.